In this video, I'll show you how to light your model as if they were a cinematic hero or villain in your small home studio. Hello, I'm Gavin Hoey and you're watching Adorama TV, brought to you by Adorama, the camera store that's got everything for us photographers. And in this video, I'm going to show you how you can create a cinematic look in your small home studio that makes it look like your model is either the hero or maybe the villain of the piece. It can be very hard to tell the two apart sometimes. So to make this dramatic, contrasty effect, all you need is a minimum of 2 basic bare flashes. Check. So let's get a model in, let's get some lights set, let's get shooting. So to help me out today, I've got the amazing Meg Biffin. Meg is going to be the model for this, and I've already set up one eVOLV 200. It's roughly at the same height as Meg's head, and it's pointing directly at her. Now I'd like this to produce f8 amount of light. That's my working aperture. I'm going to use a flash meter. You could do this by trial and error. Let's see what we get. I'm always going to point my flash meter at the light I want to record, and I'm actually getting f11. So let's just drop this down to its lowest possible power as it goes. And hopefully, there you go, f8. So I've got my flash the right power. Let's take a shot, see how it looks. Here we go. And when I do that, I get split lighting, which is exactly what you might imagine. Half of Meg is lit and half is in shadow. So now I've got the second eVOLV 200. I've set it so it is as near as I can, the same height, same angle. It's an exact replica of that light, and I'm going to put it the same distance away, or at least as close as I can, and also in line with Meg, just like that. Now I've also put it to the same power. That doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to get exactly the same exposure on both sides of Meg, but that's what I need. I need to have the two sides lit exactly the same. So remember, I'm shooting at f8. Let's just check. I'm actually getting f8 on this side as well, so that's perfect. It matches. Let's take that shot, see how it looks. So now you can see how this works. We have even light both sides of Meg. We have a shadow down through the middle of her head. That's exactly the look I'm going for with this setup. So there's one more thing we can do to change this effect, and it's Meg's position relative to the lights. At the moment, she is exactly in the center of the lights, but of course, she could move a little bit, and a little bit of movement will have a lot of difference. So for example, if I ask Meg just to take a step backwards for me. Okay, so little tiny step backwards, have a look at this. No change in the power of the lights, exactly the same from that side of things, but now that shadow through the middle of Meg has pretty much disappeared. So this time I'm going to ask Meg just to take a step forward so she's slightly in front of the lights. Have a look. Now we've got an awful lot of shadow. So it works like this. If you need less shadow on your model's face, ask them to take a little baby step backwards. If you need more shadow, ask them to take a step forwards. But that's not what we want for this shot, so I'm going to ask Meg to step backwards in between the lights. So with the basic lighting done, it's time to do the shoot. And I might spice it up during the shoot by adding some gels to these side lights for a splash of color. I'm definitely going to add some props. So we're going to give Meg this rather nice helmet to wear. And there's a chance we'll probably do something with some smoke as well. So let's give you the helmet and let's do the shoot. Baby step backwards without tripping on the light. So let's bring some colour in. Let's go with red on this side, a bit of blue on that side. Well, that worked really well. I really like the pictures with the coloured gels, but when I added in the smoke, it didn't seem to work quite so well, and I think that's because there was a single white light behind the smoke, it washed the colour out, and the whole thing doesn't seem to fit together colour-wise. So let's have a go at fixing that with a little bit of help of Photoshop. So here's the image I want to edit, and as you can see, there is a little bit of blue and a little bit of pink in the smoke, but not enough. So I'm going to create my own colour for the smoky background. And I'll do it by making a layer. Let's go up to Layer, New and Layer. We'll start with the blue, so I'll call this blue. You don't have to name it, but it helps. And then I'm going to choose a blue colour to colour this smoke. So I'm going to choose the foreground colour, which is currently black, and find a nice blue from within the image. Easy place is on Meg's eye, on the white of the eye, like that. And then I can just increase the blue a little bit, although it actually looks a bit more green than blue. Then all I need to do is get a paintbrush. Let's get the brush tool, nice big soft brush, and paint roughly over the area I want to adjust. Then we need to blend this in. So the reason I've done this on layers is now I can choose a layer blending mode that works, and they all give a different result. Soft light actually looks quite good, but the one I want to go for is color, and then I can adjust the opacity to adjust the strength of that color. So I want it there, but I don't want it overdone. That looks pretty good, I think. Now, if it's gone on your model's face, you can always use the eraser tool or layer mask if that's a problem. The next thing to do is to do the other side, and you might think, well, just grab a red colour and paint away. But if you do that, you're kind of making a bit of a problem for yourself. Let me show you. So I'm actually going to do this on separate layers. I'll go to Layer, New and Layer. I'll call this red, and then I need to choose a red colour. So again, I'm going to use the white of Meg's eye as my starting point, and then just go up slightly. And then with the big brush, paint red over that side. Use the same blending mode, which is colour, and the colour I get is really intense. I can drop the opacity down, of course, but it's still a really intense red, and it's not really where I want to be. So the reason I've done this on its separate layer is I can then adjust this independently of the rest of the picture. For example, I can go to Image, Adjustments, Hue Saturation, maybe tweak the saturation or tweak the lightness just to get it roughly where I want it to be. I can even completely change the hue if it's totally the wrong colour. And with a bit of fine tuning, there it is. There's my final picture completed. I used a couple of Flashpoint eVOLV 200s to light Meg, but you could use any kind of light. It could be a couple of speed lights, that'd be a great choice. If you're going to do this as a film project, continuous LEDs like these specular, perfect. Whatever sort of light you use, make sure it is a hard light source for that dramatic, contrasty look. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave me a comment below. Click on the bell icon to get regular notifications of all the brand new videos right here on Adorama TV. And of course, click on that subscribe button. I'm Gavin Hoey. Thanks for watching.